You just spent 3 days scripting, recording, and editing your best video yet. You publish your masterpiece, and an hour later, your video has 23 views and 200 impressions. You think, something is different this time. Maybe this is the video to break through and you will finally start seeing some real success. You go to bed anticipating waking up to thousands of views and subscribers. But the next morning, when you go to check your analytics, instead of YouTube showing your video to thousands of viewers, your view count barely moved from the night before. You feel disappointed, like the video you spent days making was a wasted opportunity. You think to yourself, if YouTube expanded my reach, viewers would love the video and it could have gone viral. YouTube didn't give me a fair chance. So what actually determines whether YouTube keeps expanding your reach? Because the truth is, YouTube is not actually suppressing your reach. It simply lacks data showing that your video will drive high satisfaction and keep viewers watching. Because if your video gets more watch time and viewers respond to it well, then YouTube's recommendation system will show it to a broader audience. Because YouTube does not judge your video based on how long you spent on it, but by viewer interest, which signals to broaden your reach to more viewers. So what if the problem isn't that YouTube is ignoring your videos? What if your video is telling YouTube exactly what to do through the signals that it's generating? And what if the real problem is that you don't know what signals you are sending, or what the right signals are that you should be sending instead? Well, that's exactly what we're going to fix, because I found the same pattern behind videos that get pushed more to bigger audiences every time. And I found that your videos start getting recommended when viewers stay interested in your video. When viewers continue to stay interested. And interest is driven by 3 specific signals. But most creators are sending these signals the wrong way without even knowing, leading to videos that YouTube interprets as lower satisfaction. And by the end of the video, you will know exactly what those signals are, and more importantly, how to fix them, so that YouTube knows your content is worth pushing to more people. Here's something most creators fundamentally misunderstand about how YouTube works. YouTube is not just a platform, it's more like a business, and its entire business model is centered around keeping people watching. Because the longer people stay on the platform, the more ads get shown and the more money YouTube makes. So when you upload a video, YouTube has an important question that it needs to answer. And that question is this video more likely to satisfy viewers and keep them on the platform? But to answer that question, first, YouTube has to run a test. To start, YouTube gathers evidence by recommending your video to a small, controlled sample of viewers. Usually your subscribers, plus a small cold audience who have watched similar content or have similar viewing habits. Then, for each recommendation, YouTube tracks 3 important signals that it uses to measure the viewer's journey. Did they click? Did they keep watching? And did they stay on YouTube after finishing the video? If these signals are strong, YouTube grows confident that your video will satisfy viewers and expands the initial test. This time, your video might reach 10 times the audience. And if that audience responds well, maybe 100. Your video starts reaching new viewers in browse, in suggested, in search. So as YouTube grows confident, your reach expands to more viewers YouTube thinks will enjoy your content. But if your video sends weak signals, YouTube avoids the risk of viewers leaving the platform and will recommend another video it trusts over yours. This means that YouTube ends the test and your video gets buried. So these signals are critical to your results on YouTube. And what's most important is that they are all completely within your control. This means that you can influence the metrics that YouTube measures, such as your reach, growth, and views, preventing your video from being ignored. And that's why this 3-step system is built to fix each and every one of these signals, so that YouTube trusts that your video will keep people watching and expand your reach. These 3 signals prevent your video from being ignored by building a positive feedback loop on YouTube. Let me show you how. I call this the 3 signals growth system. In step 1, all comes down to the first impression a viewer gets to decide if they want to click. And that is your packaging. Packaging is the combination of your title and thumbnail and is the most important data signal of the 3 because it decides whether YouTube will give your content a chance. Your packaging is the only signal that can be measured before anyone watches a single second of your video. So if it does not get people to click, then YouTube can't measure the other signals. Because if nobody clicks, the algorithm never gets the data it needs to expand your reach. The packaging explains what viewers get from watching your video. So if your packaging is bad, YouTube will never get the positive signals it relies on to push your content, to decide your content is worth recommending. So no matter how amazing your video is, if nobody is clicking, the whole system breaks down at step 1. Not because the other signals were weak, but because viewers never got to experience them. And the metric that measures the effectiveness of your packaging is your click-through rate. The percentage of users who get recommended your video and actually click on it. Now here's the packaging mistake most creators are silently making, costing them their own growth without even knowing it. The mistake I'm talking about is cluttering your thumbnail. If your thumbnail has too much going on and is cluttered with many different visuals, faces, and text taking up the screen, viewers will struggle to understand what the main idea of your video is, because your thumbnail has too much to process at once. So viewers get confused and hesitate to click because they don't know what they should expect. A cluttered thumbnail hides the main idea of your video, and if YouTube can't categorize your content, it does one of two things. It either doesn't recommend your video to avoid users leaving the platform unsatisfied, or it recommends it to the wrong audience entirely. And recommending it to the wrong audience is actually worse than no recommendations, because it prevents the right audience from discovering your video. And when the wrong audience clicks, watches 10 seconds, then leaves, now the algorithm has a data signal that says this video doesn't satisfy viewers, creating misleading signals because YouTube did not match your content with the right viewer who would actually enjoy your video. A cluttered thumbnail creates a chain where the right viewers do not recognize your video's value, and YouTube has less information for which viewers your video is relevant for. This makes the entire recommendation process less efficient, where YouTube struggles to match your content with viewers who are likely to watch, leading to missed opportunities for your video to prove itself, creating damage that compounds. So, how do you create good packaging that grabs attention and clearly states the value of your video? I'll give you the exact formula that the biggest creators use to make thumbnails that are simple to understand while still resonating with millions of viewers. Best performing thumbnails use one face to grab attention, one emotion to connect with the viewer, and 3 words max to communicate value. It's simple, yet communicates a reason to click immediately. That's the thumbnail formula Mr. Beast uses to explain the core idea of his video almost instantly without any unneeded clutter. The biggest creators pulling in billions of views aren't trying to explain their video with information-dense thumbnails. That just creates confusion. They're doing it with clarity instead, because clarity converts and makes the decision for viewers much more easy. But while your thumbnail's job is to instantly connect with the topic so that it's instantly understood, your title's job is to create curiosity by introducing a burning question in the viewer's mind that they have to click to answer. Specifically, your title needs to do 2 things at the same time. 1. Use the exact words or phrases your audience is already searching for, language they recognize immediately. 2. Create an open loop, a question their brain starts asking before they click. When you nail both, you're sending the algorithm a signal before anyone even watches. You're telling it, this content is relevant, this content is clear, this content is clickable. And that's how you win step 1. But here's the thing, getting the click is only half the battle. Because what happens in the first 30 seconds of your video determines whether viewers keep watching or scroll. Because I'm about to reveal step 2 of the 3-step system you need that improves your hook and immediately influences your growth on YouTube. And I'm about to show you a specific mechanism that is psychologically designed to keep viewers watching even when they want to click off the most. And this is the most powerful mechanism that I will share today, because it uses value, curiosity, and relevance to keep viewers watching throughout your entire video. And while step 1 is the viewer to make the initial decision to click, step 2 is what turns the click into a view. Because to get viewers watching through your whole video, your hook has to earn attention and give the viewer a reason to continue to watch. And to show you how truly important the hook is to get viewers to stay, let me give you a statistic that puts the value of the hook into perspective. A video that holds 70% of viewers through the first 30 seconds gets recommended exponentially more than one that holds 60% of viewers in the same window. The algorithm treats early watch time as one of the most reliable indicators of viewer interest. It's the signal that tells YouTube people are actually interested to continue watching after they click. This video must be creating a valuable experience for the viewer. This means that your hook isn't just an introduction. It's also a test of viewer behavior that YouTube uses to measure the success of your video. And the thing is, most creators are making the same 3 mistakes that lead to early viewer drop-off, and all 3 are algorithmically expensive and significantly limit the chances that your viewers will continue watching. Mistake number 1. Being too vague instead of explaining why the video is worth the viewer's time. Many creators simply repeat the topic or the promise the title and thumbnail make. But that is information the viewer already knows and doesn't give them a strong reason to continue watching. Vague hooks are weak because they fail to give enough value for a viewer to decide to stay. For example, pretend your hook starts with, "In today's video, we're going to talk about YouTube growth." It's likely that the viewer already knew that. A strong hook creates curiosity, making the viewer want to know what comes next, and tells them why they need to watch your video right now. The combination of a promise and unsatisfied curiosity is what prevents your audience from leaving, even when your content gets too technical or boring. This is why when making your next video, ask yourself, what does my audience want to know by the end of this video that they don't know yet? Now let's talk about mistake number 2, which is when your hook is not delivering on the expectation your packaging promised. If your thumbnail shows a promise, your hook has to reference that result or promise immediately to match the expectation that made the viewer interested to click in the first place. The moment your hook breaks the promise that your packaging made, it creates a mismatch between what the viewer actually wanted and what they're getting, giving them more of a reason to leave. And when the hook doesn't confirm the reason they clicked, uncertainty appears, and the viewer will start questioning whether your video is worthwhile. Mistake number 3, having a long intro. Long intros like, "Before we get started," or "Hey guys, welcome back," create boredom and impatience, and give the opportunity for the viewer to leave. Every single second of that is more attention lost by delaying the reason that a viewer clicked before you've given them a single reason to stay. So, here's what a strong hook does instead. Unlike longer intros, it establishes immediate relevance and answers the question the viewer showed up with, getting them to stay. It delivers context with value immediately, and it makes a new question pop up in the viewer's brain, something the viewer wants to keep watching to find out. Watch time is observed by the YouTube algorithm and is used to determine value. Your hook is what turns the click into an engagement, earning you more watch time. But now, let's move to step number 3 of the 3 signals for growth system, because while getting viewers to stay past the first 30 seconds is hard, keeping them watching for several minutes is way harder. And that's what step 3 is for. Step 3 is about retention loops, and it controls how you deliver information. This is the most advanced part of the system, and by far the most powerful. Retention loops create unfinished questions in the viewer's brain, making them curious enough to stay. Here's the mistake that's killing most creators' retention without them even realizing it. Most creators think their job is to pack as much valuable information as possible, be comprehensive, and cover everything. But sometimes there can be a problem with that approach. More value does not always mean more reasons to keep watching, and that's why retention loops are necessary to pull the viewer forward and make them want to know what comes next, rather than packing as much information as possible, which gets boring quickly. Being too informative makes it hard for your audience to pay attention and can get complicated and can get repetitive, leading to boredom by overwhelming your viewers with too much information that is hard to process. Because when you reveal too much, the viewer feels like they got all the answers that they clicked for. So there's no more curiosity pulling them through the video and they feel satisfied enough to leave. Most creators think more value is always better, but too much value given too quickly answers all the questions the viewer clicked for in the first place, resolving the curiosity that was making them stay. So when a viewer is satisfied enough and isn't interested in what comes next, that's the exact problem that is costing you your attention, because it removes the tension and curiosity that makes a viewer want to know what comes next. So the reason channels that grow fast don't just deliver information is because that gets too predictable and the viewer feels like they got all the answers and the video is finished. Fast growing channels manufacture anticipation, making the viewer want to see how the video unfolds. This is exactly why retention loops are so important. Instead of giving the answer right away, you reveal some information, but not quite enough to fully satisfy the viewer. You leave a question open in their mind, a gap of information that they consciously want to close. And because the viewer is curious to close that gap, they naturally decide to invest more time to keep watching. For example, I'm using a retention loop right now in this video. Way back in step 1 of the 3-step growth system, I told you in step 3, I'm going to reveal a specific psychological mechanism that keeps viewers watching. This sentence not only made you curious enough to find out the mechanism, but also kept you satisfied knowing that there's value later in this video. Since I only revealed that there's a psychological mechanism but not how it worked, part of your brain was waiting to find out more. Here's a structure behind a retention loop, and it is almost embarrassingly simple, yet keeps viewers anticipating the answer. Open a question, give information, deliver the answer, and immediately open a new question. You chain these loops throughout the video, each one giving viewers a complete, satisfying answer and immediately planting the next question before they have time to leave. And there's real psychology behind this. An unresolved question creates what researchers call an information gap, an uncontrollable state of incompleteness the brain is driven to resolve. The viewer literally cannot rest until the loop closes, so they keep watching. And the longer they watch, the stronger your average view duration signal. And the stronger that signal, the more the algorithm pushes your content. Packaging drives the click, the hook drives early watch time, retention loops sustain engagement through the entire video. Together, all these 3 signals tell the algorithm one thing: this video satisfies viewers, push it to more people. If you want to go deeper on how to grow on YouTube, I've made a video showing how to get more views. I'll link it right here. And if you're not subscribed, please make sure to subscribe. And use the link in the description to download vidIQ and help me out. Viewers who use my link get a discount. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.